Hi, it's Roger here with episode 27 of Entrepreneur TV, and this episode is all about the 3 biggest reasons why we get stuck. And you will see we have these stranded boats on the beach here in Bali. I wanted to come down and show you this, not so much for those ones on the beach, because obviously people could have kind of put them up on the beach, but because if we kind of look across here, you can see right out here on the reef, the water has gone out, and we've actually got all of these boats here stranded. There's not a single one that can actually get out. You can even see there's photographers down there who are just getting the sunrise, and they're a long way out from the actual main beach, which is right over there. So why is it that so often, even when we get a business going, we get stuck in it? You know, we've gone through every step of the spectrum now, going from infrared all the way up to yellow level. We've gone through the 3 steps of yellow level, which is how you actually get yourself as a player, which is someone who is self-employed, able to now, you know, run your own business. And then we actually get stuck in it at that point, right? It's kind of like getting stuck in a gear, like stuck in 3rd gear. And it's like, how do we get up to the next gear? How do we get a team together? You know, how can we get other people to do it the way that we do it? And a lot of us, we get stuck in that situation where we've got to still show up every day for our business. And even though we know how to price products, we know, how to do our job well, it's almost like we're doing the job too well. And it's almost impossible to find anyone to get the job done for us. So this is now moving from yellow level up to green level. The first step at green level is something called establish your enterprise. And if you haven't yet taken the Millionaire Master Plan test, you can go take it here for free, subscribe to the channel, and get yourself connected in, because we're now going to, over the coming weeks, go through how you extract yourself from your business. Why some people will take years to figure out how to do this, whereas others, the moment they take these steps I'm sharing, they're going to actually be able to get out within a matter of months. And it starts with 3 excuses. These are 3 excuses because we're smart enough at yellow level to know how to run a business. But that doesn't mean we're smart enough to know how to get ourselves out of our business. And so we always tend to give ourselves excuses, which are things that allow what is really a natural thing for us to get out of to then become internalized as something which basically is an intellectual reason why it can't be possible. The first excuse that people at yellow level will give themselves to stop themselves going all the way up to the next level, green level, which is where you've now got not one person doing all things, but all people doing one thing. The first excuse is the excuse which is, I can't find people as good as me. Of course you can find people as good as you, just not as good as you at being you. So most of us at yellow level have designed a business which really only we could run. And so the way out of this is not to try and multiply yourself by having another of you. The way out of this is to make sure that you've actually got a model where you've divided up what you're doing into a number of different parts. And there's always a way for us to make that happen, right? There's always a way for us to actually redesign our business in such a way that it can actually be managed by people who are not as good as we are at being us. And then the second thing is, even if we actually figure out, yeah, there are people in the world that are as good as me, the world keeps turning without me, there's a second thing that shows up. And that second thing is something called, I can't afford those good people. Well, that's because maybe you've designed a business which can only afford you. It means there's no percentage in there for leadership. It means there's no way for others to come in and actually be able to pay for themselves. And there's always a way to redesign the business, reprice your products, reset even who your customers are who are willing to pay you money, so that you actually end up with high margins. And there's always a way to have enough of a percentage to actually pay the people that you want to work with, or incentivize them to come and work with you because of the future size that you're going to be. You don't even have to pay them at market rate if they can see the business is going to grow bigger and they're going to have profit shares, or they're going to have equity shares in your business as well. That leads us to the third thing, which is if you say, okay, I can find people as good as me, or at least people who can run my business better than I can, depending on how I design it. I can find the way to actually budget for those people. Then there's a third thing, which is, but I can't afford the time. I can't afford the effort to go out and find those people or to train those people. And that's all about your time now. And I remember when I was in that situation where I was like, I don't have the time to do that, I actually got to a point where I said, wait, if I can't afford to find the people, then I can't afford not to, because it means that effectively you've become a slave to your business. And so that's really the third element. And those 3, if you think about it, if you actually stop those being excuses and you said, I'm going to solve those 3 things, I must find people better than I am. I must make sure that I have a budget that actually affords a leadership team if I'm going to have a business that's worth something. And I must make sure that I put the time aside to find them, or else I'm going to be here stuck running this business forever. You'll never figure it out. Those are the 3 elements. And you can see here, we've got the sunrise, which is kind of cool. You know, there's something kind of beautiful about things getting stuck. I mean, like, have a look at this. Like, you're looking out at all these amazing boats out here. You've got this beautiful picture It's all still, it's all serene. This is called our comfort level. And I know a lot of people are in a situation where they're going, oh, I really want to change this, but really they're in a comfort level where everything's kind of beautiful. Life works out well. They've got freedom, they've got the ability to choose what they're going to do, when they're going to do it. If you're in that situation, and I know some of you are still working yourself towards that situation, but if you get that situation, you know that there is a challenge in that whole idea that everything looks great, but at the end of the day, you want to go somewhere further. You want to get out deeper to sea. And that's what green level is all about. It's about going from the boat to the ship, to a point where you can actually go to places you just couldn't go with your business if it was just up to you. And so with that being said, with that whole idea of those three, I just wanted to kind of like finish with two things. One is the illusion of getting up to a bigger business, which I call the octopus. And the second thing is basically what is the shift in energy that has to happen when you actually are willing to shift from yellow to green level as well. So what's the illusion of the octopus? The illusion of the octopus is when you have a lot of people now working for you, but it's almost like every time they come and work for you, you end up in a situation where you're actually more stressed and more worried about your business than you were before. And I call it the octopus because it means it looks like you've got a whole bunch of people working with you, but you're still yellow level. It's an octopus because on the one hand, still small brain, but many tentacles, and everything sucks, right? It's like you're in a situation where everyone you bring on is more worry. You're still the one trying to run everything. And the key to this is how can you build a business where others worry about your business as much as you do, if not more than you do, right? Like your team, your partners, that everyone wants you to be successful. And that's the key for you to actually move up from yellow to green by actually empowering others. So how do we do this? We're going to go through the 3 steps in the coming videos, which allow us to see how we go from establish your enterprise all the way up to refine your rhythm, where you go to being the drummer of the beat to those in your team, to synchronize your steps, which is how you partner up with others in the industry who are already at green level as well. And the fundamental key thing to all of this, as you go through this, is to know that these are energies. The 7 colors of the rainbow were actually named by Isaac Newton when he wrote his book Optics, where he studied light. And he was already someone who'd studied the ancient ways in India, in China. He knew all about the chakra levels. So he decided to actually call the colors of the rainbow the same as the chakra levels that we already know from India. And each of them have a different energy. So if you're down in foundation level, you're in survival. That's the red level, that's the orange level. By the time you're getting yourself to yellow level, that's this thing here, the sun. It's solar power. It sits in the solar plexus. And the solar power is all about will, which is all about you at yellow level saying, I must get things done. You actually got to success because of your independence. But that key, which is your formula to success, your winning formula at yellow level, is your losing formula at green level. Because at green level, it's not about independence. It's about interdependence. It's not about how can I get things done. It's how can I help other people get things done. It's not about how do I make money. It's how do I help other people make money. So this is about going from yellow level, which is solar plexus, which is will, to green level, which is heart, right? This is all about now how do you give effectively as opposed to how do you get, and how do you design your company as a giving machine so that every time you're actually doing something, others are making money from it, whether it's your team, whether it's your partners, and as a result of that, they now become more engaged in your business than they ever could be, just helping you to be the one who's out there making the money. So here's my question to you. How could you help others make money within your business? How could you partner up differently, change your pricing structures, give more away in order for others to help you more to grow where you're going? And what we're going to see in the coming episode is how establish your enterprise isn't so much about the systems and the structure in your business. Establish your enterprise is all about how you make sure you're building the culture and the rhythm within your company for those who want to come work with you, to be able to work with you without you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave you with the sunset here. And my final words as we go forward is this is a shift in energy as much as it is a shift in your strategy. Until the next episode, we'll catch up with you soon. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. This is when we get on to the exciting stuff as to how you go out and build a multi-million-dollar business once you've earned the right up at yellow level.